Hello, welcome to the Jake and Josh podcast. Today we're going to be talking about the movie Glory.
Today's topic is whether or not Robert Gouldshaw is a hero or not.
Thank you. It's green.
Welcome to the Jake and Josh podcast.
Let's get ready to rumble. Today we have the Jake and Josh podcast featuring Jake Cole and Josh Monroe. Myself. Say hello, Jake.
Hello.
Today we'll be talking about Glory and if Robert Gouldshaw is a true hero or not.
Josh, starting off, did you enjoy the movie Glory?
You know, the movie Glory was very solid. You know, my boy Ferris Bueller as Robert Gouldshaw was a very solid actor. He could not grow facial hair for his life, but it was pretty good.
True. I noticed that as well.
Washington, and I liked the guy with the weird glasses. Very entertaining.
Yeah, there were a lot of scenes with those guys in it, and they seem to be the main characters of the film.
Yes.
So what do you think of the 54th Regiment? I thought they were pretty cool.
I thought the 54th Regiment was actually on that topic. Fun fact: in Glory, they say that that's the first full African American regiment when it's actually not. That's false leading information.
I agree. I saw this.
Yes, this is very true. Misleading information, but you see, the movie Glory, I think, was more for not educational purpose, but more for an entertaining purpose.
Yes.
Entertainment was definitely where it got me, and yeah.
I agree. I totally see where you're coming from. Movies like this are just for the money, not really for the education purpose. So
this is true.
That's I say some of this is pretty accurate, like a good chunk of it, but they definitely made some parts that were a little misleading and maybe parts that weren't necessarily true just to add to the movie.
Fun fact, you know, the movie depicts that Robert Gouldshaw is at a party and he walks down the stairs and the governor's there and he goes, "Hey Robert, how would you like to lead the 54th Regiment?" And he's like, "Oh, I'd love to." And he walks outside and he's just right in it. But in reality, his father gave him a letter from the governor and at first he declined it, but then he ended up, you know, following through with it and leading. And everything else pretty much is pretty accurate.
I agree. I thought it was pretty accurate. What did you think about the whole overall story of the movie? You think that was pretty good or like accurate?
Yes. I mean, there's probably some parts, like the part when Denzel Washington and Robert Gouldshaw were talking, and he's like, "I do not want to accept this letter, this award for my bravery. What are we fighting for? We're just gonna go back to slavery in the end."
Yeah.
And in reality, Robert Gouldshaw seemed like he was a little too forgiving. I mean, not forgiving, but like he had empathy. And at the time, obviously, racism was still a thing, and it probably did not really go that nicely. But at the same time, it probably maybe didn't go that racist, like pretty racistly, if that's a word.
So yeah, I totally agree with you about how you thought he was being too nice. Especially during that time period, people weren't nice about how they treated African American people, like especially since it was new to have like them in the army and stuff like that. So to have them being treated like just like how it is today, somewhat, if that makes sense, like just like normal people, it probably wasn't like that.
It was definitely not like that.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I would, but even like in the most harsh times in the movie, besides like them not wearing shoes and stuff, and like their feet turning into like hot tamales, I think that the interactions between the people and like I feel like there's more brutal parts of the movie, or like historically, it was more brutal.
Maybe like at the beginning when the 54th Regiment was new and he was taking on leadership, it was probably more rough then. Then towards the end, maybe they got to know each other better and they were all closer friends, if that makes any sense. So maybe by the end of the movie, they were all pretty close, kind of like how they represented in the movie.
You know, now that I wonder at the time of recording this, I wonder if that, you know, Robert Gould Shaw's friend, he like grew up with him. He was like his.
Yes.
He's a free man. I wonder if he was actually a real person.
Well, do you know?
I do not know. That's why I'm saying at the time of the recording.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, maybe it wasn't real. Maybe they also added that.
According to an article that I read, the people who were playing the characters with Morgan Freeman and Denzel Washington were made up, and were not real actually. So they definitely, obviously, kept them in to keep like people who knew them as actors entertained. You know what I mean?
And adding back earlier, saying that they were not the first full African American regiment. To add on to that, they were actually the first widely publicized African American unit, according to warhistoryonline.com/American Civil War. What the film Glory got right about the American Civil War and what it did not. .html.
Good cited sources, Josh.
Thank you.
So, what did you think about the end of the movie? Wrapping this up.
Yeah, you know, I thought the movie was gonna have a happy ending. I thought Robert Gould Shaw and his friend and Denzel Washington and Morgan Freeman were gonna be like on a balcony having tea and eating fancy square sandwiches, but it did not turn out to be that case. Robert Gould Shaw actually rushed a full army of men, according to the movie,
Southerners,
and got like 7 rounds put into his chest as he finger flicked his revolver out of his hand, and a lot of people died. His friend died, and it was a pretty sad ending.
I feel like
depicted him being thrown into like a body hole.
I feel like at that point when he died, I almost feel like all the 54th Regiment felt more like united, if that makes any sense, because they just saw like their friend die, or at least that's what I got from the movie. It felt like since he died, they all felt like honored, and they wanted to keep going and like keep fighting in his honor to see the victory come true. But sadly, as the end of the movie says and shows, that they ended up losing that battle. All right, everybody, this is the end of the Jake and Josh podcast. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you thought we had some good points and
very great points.
Had a good discussion about the movie Glory.
Very good discussion.
All right, thank you.
See you next time on the Jake and Josh podcast.
Yahoo!